Coming up on Saturday, November 7th, the Village of Addison will be working with Republic Waste Services to hold a household hazardous waste and community recycling extravaganza. We are here at Addison Trail with Mayor Rich Veenstra and Joe Scaglione from Republic Waste here to tell us a little bit about the event. Mayor, first off, how did this event come about?
Well, taking care of hazardous materials has always been an issue for everyone, and doing it properly is really a major concern for us. And we've had a hazardous waste site in Addison for years up on our North Water Treatment Plant. And that actually we had to shut down because we were doing major renovation at the plant. So for the last several months, we've had no place to direct our residents to for hazardous materials. So in partnership with Republic, we put together this program, and it gives our residents an opportunity to get rid of all the things that have been collecting over the months. And with the COVID, they've probably spent a lot of time going through the basements and sorting out things. So,
well, I was thinking that, I just speaking for my own family, I know we've used the opportunity to do a lot of household projects. So we have paint cans and that kind of thing. So some of these are the kinds of things that you don't really think about, that you really shouldn't just be throwing in the trash.
Exactly. And I know my garage has got a lot of things right now that are going to go away on the on the 7th. So looking forward to it.
You mentioned the recycling center has been closed for some time. I know we recently interviewed our public works director, Rick Federighi, to tell us about the project going on there. Do we have any anticipated timeline for when the recycling center will open, or is that?
I think we're probably looking at a good year before it's open and operational again. And we looked at alternatives in the interim, and really to set up a adequate site really isn't feasible at this point.
So when the idea for this came about, we obviously went to Republic, who we've had a great partnership with for many years. Tell us a little bit about that before we go to Joe to tell us about the event itself.
Well, we've had a contract with Republic for years. They've been very, very responsive to the needs of our residents. And when we talked to them about this unique need, they were more than happy to jump in and offer their services and coordinate this for us.
Great.
So.
Well, Joe, going into some of the details coming up on Saturday, November 7th, this is a unique event because we're in a very unique time. So even though we can't hold it at the recycling center, just coming to the high school wasn't enough. Before we go into some of the items that are going to be taken, we're standing in this big parking lot for a reason. Tell us a little bit about the logistics of that day for people who are bringing items.
Thank you. So this space provides us enough distance to have all of our vendor partners that are going to be here supporting us and the Village of Addison through this event. It allows us to safely social distance while being able to serve as many residents as possible.
When someone arrives, tell me, I know that there will be signage that will be very helpful, but tell me a little bit about what people can anticipate. Are they going to be unloading? Do you have people to unload? How will this work?
Republic Services of Melrose Park will bring people to help unload. And there's two parts to that. One, it provides an extra service, but two, it allows us to make sure we sort it correctly and get it to the right place to be either recycled or disposed of. And it keeps the line moving as quickly and efficiently as possible. Since the event is from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., we want to serve as many people as possible during that time.
Are there going to be stations that they have to hit depending on what they're bringing, or you're just going to collect everything out of the car and you do everything?
As we get closer to the event, we're gonna make sure we rope everything off and understand where each vendor is going to be and create signs and stanchions. If somebody only has secure document shredding that they need, they might not have to go through the same line as somebody that has household hazardous waste or TVs.
And you mentioned TVs. I know that electronics recycling has become a big thing in recent years, especially just due to the cost of it. It made our recycling center reduce hours so that we had people on hand to verify that it was Addison residents coming to the recycling center only. Is that in effect for that event as well?
Yes, there will be electronics recycling. Now, there will be restrictions for the amount of electronics or the amount of household hazardous waste per residence, and those full restrictions can be found on www.addisonadvantage.org.
Great. And so then the event is for Addison residents only?
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
And in addition to electronics, you mentioned document shredding. What are some of the other things that people can bring? Or maybe more importantly, what should they not plan on bringing to this event?
Household hazardous waste is going to be one of the biggest ones. So household hazardous waste might be your oil-based paints, motor oil, fuel, pesticides. That's the items that people can bring. It's not commonly part of their curbside collection, so we know that people have it at their house and they can bring it to this event.
Is there anything that people should avoid bringing that day?
Bulk items like bulk furniture, anything that's commonly collected during your residential services, it's best to use those services. That way we could dedicate as much resources as possible to collecting these special items. And again, a full list of items that will be accepted and not be accepted can be found at addisonadvantage.org.
Great. Mayor, I know that Joe already mentioned that there will be other agencies here as well. Perhaps you want to give a list of those that are helping out that day, in addition to Addison Trail, obviously, a big thank you to them.
You know, so much like all of the events that we have in town, it's a collaborative of all of the different entities that service our residents. So we're going to be partnering with the Addison Trail High School, with the USME Recycling, with Scarce, one of our newer corporate members, with Pro Shred, and with the Addison VFW. So there'll be a lot of agencies here working together to provide a service for our residents.
Great. Well, thank you very much. All of those items, if you missed them as we brought them up on the screen, we will have a list of the items that you can bring here on Saturday, November 7th. If you need more information, you can always contact the Public Works Department. For Addison, I'm Dory Croggy. Thank you for being with us.